Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm playing King of the Hill chess, where a player can win by placing the king in the center 4 squares or by checkmating. My goal is to win 3 games. Let's get started with game number 1. Okay, most of the openings that I play leave very closed centers, meaning there's a lot of tension in the center, there's pieces in the way, usually they end up being symmetrical as well, so I'm not completely concerned about somebody bum rushing their king in towards the center. Okay, we get f5, so it's kind of like a Dutch defense. We'll play knight to f3. The Dutch and the London system actually have some pretty similar ideas, right? He's fighting for e4, I'm fighting for e5. We're just doing it in different ways. I'll play e3 here. We get e6, the Dutch. I'll play my bishop to d3, which traditionally you wouldn't do because this bishop later doesn't have very good scope. You usually want it on e2. But since this game is a little bit different and we should probably be fighting for the center a little bit extra, I'll leave this bishop on d3. All right, we get bishop to d6, I'll drop back. I would love it if he would capture so that I could open up this file, but he doesn't. We'll play knight to d2, and then usually what they play is like queen here or rook to e8 with the idea of e5. But we'll go ahead and drop that little dookie on e5 and stop that idea. Okay, knight to e4, fights fire with fire, and I'm gonna full commit this. I'm gonna play f4. I know this bishop looks horrendous, right? But if he takes it, I still get my open file. There's even g4, removing f5. Bishop comes into play. And if he doesn't, then later there's ideas of like queen to h5, and then the bishop gets out through h4. The queen defends it, and the bishop hits the other queen. So there's some tricky ideas here. They don't always work, but they're worth having in your back pocket. We get g5. I'm not really sure what the idea of that is. It looks like it allows queen to h5, hitting f7. So let's do that. Queen to h5, hitting f7. With that, we also have the opportunity to castle long, which could be interesting depending on how close the position stays. We get that f4 capture. That's suspicious. What if I play check? King moves out of the way. He might actually be okay. I'm not denying that he might be okay, but it looks suspicious. What about bishop here, right? Hits the queen, has nowhere to go, so you have to block it. Bishop back, then there's check. Let's give it a try. Let's play this. Bishop to h4 will hit the queen, right? And this is a good example too. I know that Gotham Chess talks about this a lot, intermediate moves, where instead of immediately taking back and then moving on with the game, or just analyzing the 2 different ways to take back, look around and see if there's any intermediate moves. We get bishop to e7. If I play check now, king to h8, and I don't think my position really got much more interesting, but I guess it's not bad. Okay, I'm going to get a little creative. I'm going to play knight to f7 here, hitting the queen and breaking up this battery that's hitting my own bishop, which is quite annoying. So queen d7 is basically forced, which is exactly what he plays. Now his threat is takes, and then I drop the knight. So I actually do have to address that. Let's take on e4 first, since that knight is actually quite strong. Okay, we get check, we'll take back. We'll play bishop to f3 with this idea, although in all fairness, he really could just take here, and he does. Wow, never mind, that intermediate move was awful. That was the worst intermediate move ever. Let's just play this and leave this on the table, try to long castle, and then we're in a pretty dynamic position. There's still ideas of like g4, for example. Okay, he doesn't notice this, so we'll go ahead and pick up that free material, long castle out of the way, or maybe I could just keep my king in the center, or is that silly? Is that too bold? That's probably too bold. Let's go ahead and castle long. Be a little more realistic. After that intermediate move, I got humbled severely. We get queen to g6. Let's see, what can we do here? We can play this. Target e3. See how he can defend it. And if he can't defend it, then it's like a free pawn plus a rook lift, which is quite satisfactory. We get f4, which looks free, so we'll take that. Still threatening the same thing, which he allows. And now there's this on the board. Knight to a5, doesn't notice this, so we'll go ahead and play it. If he takes with check, I just recapture. Oh boy. Oh boy, looks like we're winning this now. We'll go ahead and play check in the center. And we get the resignation. Very, very nice. I will admit immediately that that was probably completely losing for me right around here. I think right here, if he had just solved this problem, right, by just moving the rook out of the way, he was probably perfectly fine, if not a little bit better. But then that b6 move, we just picked up that free material and it was all over from there. All right, that's game number 1. Let's move on to game number 2. Ooh, immediately paired. Oh, with the same guy. Oh, okay, but this time we play as black. Oh my god, we're going to play the same thing, aren't we? Do I want to play the same thing? I really didn't love how that position ended out for me. Let's play this instead. Let's play it a little bit differently, get a little bit creative with it. If there's one thing a Dutch player hates, it's when people try to get rid of the knight that's supposed to go in the center. So we'll go ahead and do that, and double his pawns in the process. Why not? Two birds with one stone. Knight to f6. We'll go ahead and play c6, my apologies. Knight to d7, e6, bishop here, castles, everything is okie dokie, and we should be in business, so. Okay, knight back is very interesting. I assume he's looking for this, but we'll play check right away, which covers that square, develops our bishop with tempo, and we castle out of the way. Nice. I would say we're doing much better in this game than we were in the last one. c3 is a really interesting way to try to force this, unless he wants b4, but that looks a little bit wonky, to be honest. Let's play e5 and fight for some center space now. We'll play knight takes e5. Okay, bishop c2, right? He's looking for d4. Guess we'll play knight to g6. And then we do get d4. This bishop isn't doing anything here anymore, so back to d6. Line it up with at least some pawns. And then bishop to g5. Let's play h6, just for fun, just to see what happens. If he takes, I take back. We open up the rook, but he doesn't, he retreats. Bishop to e3 seems to invite queen to e7, so we'll play it, right? We seize the open file with tempo, and rook to e8. Nice, we have a battery, which walks into rook to e1, in all fairness, but now let's do this. Queen to d7, and I'd love it if my queen could have a future like here. That would be pretty insane. If I had like knight h5, knight to f4, takes with check, but then he just takes. It's not ideal, but it's plausible. In the meantime, let's just double our rooks. Let's not get too ridiculous. Okay, we'll double our rooks. If he takes, I take back. Sure. Okay, we'll take again. And queen to, let's do queen to e6 this time. Keep the queen on this diagonal, also control the open file. Okay, he moves the bishop out of the way, and we have control over the open file, but in this position, it really doesn't mean all that much. It doesn't translate into anything concrete. So let's look for some play on this side of the board. Maybe h4 could be interesting. Knight h5, knight f4 if the pawn takes and gets out of the way. He's thinking about it. Ah, but he plays c4. Okay. I'm not really sure what the idea of this is. Maybe c5 for some extra space, maybe takes, but we end up symmetrical anyways. Let's do this. It's a little bit trappy. I'll admit that. And some of you guys may see what I'm trying to get at here, but okay. We get queen to f5. Let's play. I guess I really don't have a choice but to take, do I? So I guess I'll take. We'll trade off here. Okay, he takes with the bishop, so I'll get rid of my knight. And the knight back should be perfectly sound here, right? Hits the bishop, supports d5. And really, our fight for the center continues. Nothing really has changed all that much. Ooh, bishop to h3 is very amusing. Can I play f5 and then just trap your bishop? It's not as clean cut as I'm making it sound, but I'd love to restrict his bishop with this move. So we'll play f5. Maybe we can get our king into the center this way, right behind where that pawn evacuated. We're also down to a minute, which is not ideal. We'll go ahead and follow up with the king. f4. He's leaning into, closing the position. We'll play g6 to solidify f5, and then king to e6. He can never take because I take back, and I win the game. King to e3. b5, obviously we want pressure on c4. That's the pawn that's stopping us. Of course, he could take or play c5, but if he does nothing, I take. Whoops, I take, and then I take again, and then I run into d5. So he has to move c4 somewhere. Okay, he decides to take. We really only have the choice of taking back. And it seems the only way for me to win now is by dropping my king here, and the only way for him to win is to drop the king here. Aside from checkmate, which is quite difficult to do. Okay, knight to c3, we'll go ahead and defend our pawn. I don't think that needs to be thought through too much. a4, I could just push for space. And I think that's better for me, so we'll play that. b4, push for some extra space. Okay, we'll play knight to c6. And the traditional idea here would be like bishop back and then hit d4. But what if I just play bishop c5? He takes my bishop, I play check. King moves out of the way, king to d5, should be completely winning. Okay, this is why I like and dislike this kind of variant, because it's just insane tactics, but if it works, it works. So bishop c5, we're looking to take down d4. If he takes my bishop, I play check, king moves out of the way anywhere, and then king to d5 is winning. Okay, we get g4, trying to look for counterplay on this side. We'll take with check. He has to move back and defend the knight, which moves the king even further away. I mean, he has the option to just move here, but then I take, and there's no way for him to come through. Okay, that's kind of just giving up. We'll go ahead and take on f2. If takes, I take back. Sure. Still no way to get into the position. I'm now up a piece. We get bishop to g2 hitting this. I think I can freely move with this bishop because my knight defends this and my pawns defend these. If he sacks on d5, I take back with the king. We're back to square one. So what if I just play this? King here. Check. King there. Oh, I'm down to 10 seconds. Why does this position not feel comfortable? Okay, I need to play extremely quickly here. I didn't even realize I was so down on time. Let's try that on for size. I'm going to make some moves here just to buy time. Obviously, I won't make 50 whole moves, but I'm going to make some moves here just to buy time. Then let's play this. How are you going to defend b3? Impossible, right? Right, we'll take. This should be decently clean cut. We'll take back. And we get our king to the center. Nice! Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Not easy peasy. That's a lie. That was a very tough game. But we came through with that crazy tactic. That bishop c5 move was absolutely insane. That's the kind of tactic you just have to be on the lookout for. Takes, d4, king moves out of the way. We would have had checkmate. But instead we played it out a little bit, and then we got that center capture anyways. Nice. All right, we're 2 for 2. Let's move on to game number 3. Hopefully we don't get with this guy again. I would feel terrible if we had to play 3 games against him. Although he'd be the star of the show, so it's a little bit of give and take. All right, game number 3. We do get somebody different this time. We also get the black pieces, but we're met with d4, which invites d5. Nice and symmetrical. I point out the symmetry because if we can keep the position symmetrical, the odds that, we get into dynamic play where the kings run into the center is much less likely, and it's more likely we end up in a position where the center is closed. I'll go ahead and develop my bishop to f5, kind of like a London, but with the black pieces, right? We get h3, we'll play c6. Now I'm just looking for e6, bishop d6, knight b d7, and I can actually choose where I castle at that point. g4 is so aggressive. I could even play bishop e4 here. If takes, I take back. I wouldn't be mad about that position at all. Let's give that a try, bishop e4. Traditionally, I'd play bishop to g6, but let's mess around and find out. We get rook to g1, okay, e6, continuing my development. I guess I've kind of walked into g5. If g5, can I just take? Take, I take, you take, I take your queen, you promote. Ugh, sticky situation. We get knight to e5. I'm assuming looking for f3, but then I can just drop back. So let's play knight to d7, challenge the knight on e5. We could even look for c5. You can't take, I take your knight. It's mildly amusing. Okay, we get f3 after all. He's playing this very loosely. I can't actually take here looking for queen to h4 because the rook can take. So fair play. We'll move the bishop back. Bishop to f4. I guess secures g3 because the rook is there, right? So still no ideas of queen here because the bishop simply drops back and kicks the queen out. Let's play bishop to b4. Pin the knight, just for funsies. We could even look for queen to a5, mildly amusing. And you can kind of tell that the position is trending towards closed because even though there's a lot of pieces on the board, you'll notice we haven't actually made any trades. All of the pieces are still on the board. And we're kind of gridlocked here. We get a3 booting the bishop. I can't play bishop to d6 because there's the sacrifice of the knight, and when I take back, I lose the bishop. So let's play bishop a5. I can play it back to c7 because then it's just defended by the queen, and everything is fine in that position. If he plays b4, full respect. My opponent plays b4, full respect, because that is grabbing a lot of space on the board, which I guess is the idea, but it's hard to justify that much space. King to d2, yes. Why not king to d2 is the real question you should be asking yourselves. All right, if he's going to play king to d2, I'm betting that I can give check and win material before my opponent can get to the center. So let's go. c5, bust open the center wide open, kick it down with my heel, and let's see what happens. I mean, I have a lot of pieces in the center for my opponent to actually find a way for the king to sit in the middle. Ooh, we're definitely taking that. If he takes back, knight takes with check. The knight can't recapture because it's pinned to the king. Wow, that is very, very bold. What is this? What, I can't take because you take back with check? Okay, I see that. Interesting idea. Let's take on c3. If takes back, we play knight to d5 check, win the bishop. And if he takes here, if my opponent takes here, they're not actually threatening to play king to d4 because my bishop still defends. Knight takes. Can I take here with check? Queen takes, pawn takes, king takes, wins the game. Holy moly. Save some tactics for the rest of us. Is this actually working for my opponent? I can't even play this check because king takes on e4. Wow, I have no words. This is just an incredible position. Okay, I'm going to start by just taking back the knight. I still can't play this because king takes. Let's do knight to b6, looking for the same idea, just with a different knight in a different way. Again, this check threatens to win the bishop. Okay, what? I can't play this because king d4. This is absolutely insane. Okay, I can't even play knight c4. That's covered by the bishop. Oh my god, what is happening on the board right now? Okay, let's play this. I'm not even sure why. Let's just do it, because I'm down to 12 seconds anyways. I have to play something. Okay, queen to d6. Threatens this. Sack, I guess? I mean, no, king to d4 anyways! Wow, is it just me, or did my opponent play a absolutely ridiculously strong game? Okay, they're offering a rematch. I have to accept it. I have to. That was incredible. Okay, what did they play? d4? I'm playing d4 too now. Let's go. Let's play exactly what my opponent played. That was insane. That was absolutely insane. Wow. I really thought that it was going to be too similar to chess for it to be worth castling that early in the game, but my opponent definitely proved me wrong. I guess I played too passively as well. I allowed my opponent to grab a lot of space without offering any sort of counterplay. Let's play bishop d3, right away counter his bishop. We cannot play this one passively whatsoever. All right, g6. I guess just looking to throw pawns at the center. I'll bite. I'm willing to learn the hard way. You guys already know that I'm willing to learn the hard way, so let's do it. Knight to f3. Question is, how is this losing? How is this losing for me? Okay, e6. I'm going to play a3 because my idea is to play c4. But if I play c4 and then check, obviously pawns can't move backwards. So we have to deal with that still. Let's play c4 now, should be fine. Okay, bishop to d6 offers a trade of bishops. I could just take, and then c5, but I have a funny feeling if I take, my opponent will take back with the c pawn and then fight for e5. Bishop g5 is also amusing, pinning the knight. And I don't really see a comfortable way out of that, so let's try that. Bishop to g5. I guess bishop to e7 is really the only way. King to d7! Oh my god, it's too early for this. It's too early for this. King to d7. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Is he already running for the center? I guess I need to play c5 and just get the bishop out of there. Let's do it. Let's just play c5, boot the bishop, and then we'll play like b4, b5, look for knight to e5. I need to control the center as, you know, with an iron grip. If I don't have an iron grip over the center, I'm going to lose to this person again. Are they actually considering sacking the bishop here? There's no way that works. There's no way. I would have too many pieces in the center at that point. I'm trying to like get inside. Oh my god, I was just going to say, what if they try to play e5, looking for takes, and then like king to e6, king to e5. All right, I'm biting. This is ridiculous. There's no way this works twice in a row. We're going to take the free bishop first, and then we are going to do everything in our power to justify taking that piece. Okay, king takes. Very amusing, but does it work? Let's play this, looking for knight to b5 to push the king back. Or, well, I guess it only pushes it to e6, but it might be enough anyways. Okay, rook moves over, hits the bishop. Can I just take? Queen takes, I take here with check. Anybody takes back. Well, I guess just the knight, and then I take here with my queen. Okay, that's very convincing to me. Whether or not it actually works in the game is a completely different story, right? We got trolled and rolled in the last game, but this time I think we're doing all right. We'll take here with check. Can't take with the king because my knight defends. Queen oh my lord. Queen takes, of course queen takes. I didn't even calculate that because I thought, you know, I just win the queen, but he could take back. Okay, and with that move, he actually defends d5 as well, so that's out the window. Okay, let's rethink this whole thing. Let's rethink the whole meaning of life after this. What is this? Okay, let's play here so we can maintain the pressure, and with any luck, I can castle long and then threaten d5. Okay, f4. It's quite scary, but I don't think it actually works here. So we're going to long castle and look for this capture on d5. If I can capture on d5, completely winning. Oh, this is completely winning, isn't it? I take with check, now what? If he moves the king out of the way, I just take again, defended by the knight. And we're up on time for once. For once, I think in this whole episode, I'm actually up on time against somebody. So I think we're all right. I think we did it. We'll take with check. Yeah, There's no way to justify this now. I won't admit, the aura that he had when he did the first capture shook me. I was quite shaken after the first game, but I think we're back on track now. Let's play check. Keep the king nice and far away. I don't even want him to be in the vicinity of the center. We'll take this pawn with the queen. I actually invite this because it brings check. Sweet, check. King comes back towards the center. Let's play check. Get him out of here. Oh, he lines up. He's looking for d5, but today is not the day for d5, my friend. Today is not the day. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, but today is not that day. Is this not free? Come on now, free pieces are still free pieces. I'm gonna take that. A free piece is still a free piece. Rook to g8, looking for me to take so that he can take here with mate. We'll play this little number. Ka-chow, send him back. Check. And we should have mate on the next turn. Nice. All right, we've won game number 3, which is excellent, and we actually won it against an opponent that steamrolled us on our first go-around. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down below if you really enjoyed this particular variant or if there's others that you would like me to try, and I will see you guys in the next one.